Welcome to the Rant. I'm John Shannon. Well, now we're brought together to talk about another nut job who on Friday went on a shooting rampage in another college campus. And after you mourn the deaths of these students, and you curse the shooter for taking the easy way out and turning the gun on himself, you wind up wondering how can this happen? Now, this individual, and here again, like in the last case in the Virginia Tech shootings, I refuse to name this individual, even though his name is available and been released to the public, and anybody that's been paying attention to CNN knows who he is. But I won't glorify him by mentioning his name on this particular segment. But and forgive my somber feeling on this, because I'm at a loss with this. How was it so easy for yet somebody else who has been diagnosed with having a mental condition, psychological condition, whatever you want to call? How does he get a gun? How does he get multiple guns? How does he get a permit to carry these guns? I understand the whole deal with the Second Amendment and the rights of those to carry guns, and I think that's a very important part of society. But this was far too easy for this guy. Far too easy. And yet, if anybody at all mentions that it should be harder to purchase guns, everybody, the NRA and everybody on the far right are all going to kick and scream that you can't, that this is a violation of the Second Amendment. Guns should be readily available for law-abiding citizens, and which at this guy hadn't broken any laws. He had no criminal record, but I'm beginning to think that maybe we should be paying a little bit closer attention to the psychological background of these people who apply for gun licenses. And quite frankly, I think that it's too easy. That's all I can say. It's too easy right now. And this kind of thing is just becoming too commonplace, both on high school and college campuses. Now, obviously, high school students, you go back to Columbine, you go back to the shooting at Red Lake up in Minnesota, a few other instances that obviously these were teenagers who would have not who would have gotten their weapons from a gun store or whatnot. But I'm sure in a couple instances these weapons were obtained probably from from their parents, from unlocked gun cabinets. It's a dilemma. It really is a dilemma because, like I said, I think on the other hand, with this, had there been somebody that had a gun, a law-abiding citizen that would have been allowed to carry a gun in what was designated as a no-gun zone, maybe he could have stopped. Maybe this could have been stopped after, heaven forbid, one student was shot. You just don't know this, but this really troubles me because there is no easy answer on this, and I can only hope for in the short term that possibly that there needs to be more of a standardized law as far as concealed carry permits, where the applicant needs, at the very least, to have a very detailed background check, including a psychological profile. And I think that, quite frankly, that the psychological profile needs to weigh as heavy, if not even more heavy, than a criminal background, to tell you the truth. If I was busted for shoplifting 7 years ago, but yet had no background of any mental illness or any visits to the shrink or any medication for mental illness of any kind, probably be eligible, in my eyes, to carry a gun. But I think that even people who have stressful jobs might disqualify because you just never know. You never know when you're capable of going off the deep end. And if you're going to go off the deep end, having weapons at your disposal is not a good thing. And I'm sorry if this seems like I'm rambling, but like I said, there is no definitive answer with this on either side. So I guess that's all I got on that. Like I said, I wish there was an answer. Alright, well, folks, that's all for now. Have a great night, and we'll talk again soon. This is John Shannon, the Redneck Cabbie. Adios.